What is the real world? The real world is a symbol like the rest of what perception offers. Yet it stands for what is opposite to what you made. Your world is seen through eyes of fear and brings the witnesses of terror to your mind. The real world cannot be perceived except through eyes forgiveness blesses, so they see a world where terror is impossible and witnesses to fear cannot be found. The real world holds a counterpart for each unhappy thought reflected in your world, a sure correction for the sights of fear and sounds of battle which your world contains. The real world shows a world seen differently, through quiet eyes and with a mind at peace. Nothing but rest is there. There are no cries of pain and sorrow heard, for nothing there remains outside forgiveness. And the sights are gentle. Only happy sights and sounds can reach the mind that has forgiven itself. What need has such a mind for thoughts of death, attack and murder? What can it perceive surrounding it but safety, love and joy? What is there it would choose to be condemned, and what is there that it would judge against? The world it sees arises from a mind at peace within itself. No danger lurks in anything it sees, for it is kind, and only kindness does it look upon. The real world is the symbol that the dream of sin and guilt is over, and God's Son no longer sleeps. His waking eyes perceive the sure reflection of his Father's love, the certain promise that he is redeemed. The real world signifies the end of time, for its perception makes time purposeless. The Holy Spirit has no need of time when it has served his purpose. Now he waits but that one instant more for God to take his final step, and time has disappeared, taking perception with it as it goes, and leaving but the truth to be itself. That instant is our goal, for it contains the memory of God. And as we look upon a world forgiven, it is he who calls to us and comes to take us home, reminding us of our identity which our forgiveness has restored to us. The real world, where fear runs out of storylines. The Course calls the world a symbol. It isn't a thing. It's a projection. The ego's world is the movie screen of fear. But the real world is the same screen repurposed by forgiveness. The difference isn't in what's shown. It's in how it's seen. The world the ego made is built on fear's logic. Something can be gained only if something else is lost. So it sends out eyes to confirm the script. Wars, injustice, loss, decay. These are not real events. They are thought forms painted onto perception. A mind that believes in guilt must see guilt. It's like wearing tinted glasses that color every scene. Imagine walking through a carnival funhouse. Every mirror is warped, every face distorted. That's the world the ego made, reflections of terror, loss, and death. Now imagine taking off the mask that entered that carnival. The mirrors don't change, but what you see in them does. The real world isn't somewhere else. It's what remains when distortion ends. Forgiveness is the solvent that dissolves the grime of judgment on the lens. It doesn't fix the mirrors. It sees through them. It looks at the twisted reflections and says, none of this changes the face of Christ beneath. Then, like mist evaporating in morning light, the world's terror loses its evidence. The real world is not a physical place. It's a state of perception in which fear has no foothold. Picture a battlefield that suddenly goes silent. Not because the war is over in time, but because the mind that authored it awakened. The tanks and trenches are still there, but they no longer mean what they did. Meaning has been reclaimed by peace. In the real world, every sight has a counterpart. Every nightmare is paired with its correction. A screaming siren becomes a lullaby. A breakup becomes a resurrection of love. Death becomes a symbol of rebirth, not loss. That's what it means when the Course says every unhappy thought has a counterpart. It's not fantasy. It's reinterpretation. The forgiven mind no longer hunts for danger. It has stopped believing in separation. It knows there is no other to attack. Seeing only kindness, it cannot perceive threat. No danger lurks in anything it sees. That doesn't describe naivete. It describes divine vision. It's what happens when perception no longer projects guilt outward. The real world is the final dream. The soft bridge between illusion and truth. The last story before the book closes itself. Time has no purpose there. Forgiveness has undone the need for learning. Once the lesson of oneness is accepted, time simply runs out of jobs to do. When the Course says the real world signifies the end of time, it's pointing to this. Perception and time are the same illusion. Both arose from the belief that something could exist outside God. When that belief ends, perception and time dissolve like mist, leaving only truth to be itself. What does that look like right now? A driver cuts you off, and instead of anger, you feel compassion. An echo of peace where fear once lived. A loved one dies and something in you knows they were never the body. That knowing is a glimpse of the real world. The real world is not reached by travel or effort. It's reached by subtraction. Each grievance released. Each judgment surrendered. Each veil removed. It's the world behind the world, the one love never stopped creating but we stopped seeing. It's the memory of heaven appearing as light in every form. And when forgiveness is total, even that light no longer needs reflection. The projector stops. The dream awakes. God takes the final step. And the world, real or unreal, falls silent in recognition that truth was never absent. The real world was never out there. It was the moment fear ran out of storylines and love remained to tell its own.